Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti, live on Zoom with lockdown number 35 here in Australia. Probably going to be locked down for the rest of our life, Peter.
Yeah, I've got the Royal Meredith Hotel hat on here. Obviously, he's been in and out of lockdown with everyone else, and all these small businesses are the ones that suffering. So call out to Claire and Damo out there at Meredith. Hopefully when lockdown's finished, we can get back out to the pub and do one of our ATB TVs from there. In between time, hopefully hopefully in between time, two-bay store can win for Damo.
I should go and put my Royal Meredith hat on. Hang on. Oh, he didn't give me one, so I don't have one.
You had to give the good clients a hat.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
All right, Pete. Well, let's go through last week's runners.
Just having a click around here, Darren. Yes. Well, we go back to Warrnambool. Horse we're going to talk about actually ran terrific today, and that's Black Mirror. We had a jockey who had the earmuffs on last week, Darren. Didn't want to listen to anything pre-race and didn't want to have a bar of anyone post-race. Mr. Yendall.
Well, it was quite funny, wasn't it? Quite funny. Pat said I gave him a set of instructions to stay off the fence, and what did he do? He went to the fence and the horse got bogged, and you could see her trying really hard, couldn't you? Like she really, really tried and only got beat 3 lengths. And I said to Pat, I think the instructions must have went over Dean's head. Maybe next time you should kneel down.
Well, proof in the pudding. 7 days later, she backed up at Chuka today. And look, to be fair, it was the opposite today. She had no luck being wide and pushed off the track. But I just think the run today showed what she would have done maybe at Warrnambool with being driven a bit better, to put it mildly. But anyway, she's in good nick, the horse.
On the corner, she was last. Yeah, she must have been 3 or 4 wide the trip and then got pushed probably 6 wide. And I think she was still last at the 400. And I thought, oh, this is a disaster. The backup hasn't worked. And then all of a sudden, she just took off and charged down the centre of the track. And I don't know how many lengths she made up on the leader during the straight, but it was a lot. And yeah, like she wasn't beaten far, run 3rd, and if it had been another 100 yards, she would have been challenging for the win. So it gives you a lot of confidence. Look, Pat's done a great job with this horse. This horse was mad. Like 2 trainers had it and couldn't handle it, didn't want it. And Pat's done a great job down there at Warrnambool with her. And now she's just a horse, you know. She's a little bit hot and she might do a few things wrong, but she's a proper horse. And being by so you think, you know, she loves a bit of cut in the ground. She's bred to get out in a bit of a trip. And I think Pat's got his eye on a city race over 2100 at some point. And I really do think we're going to get a city win out of this girl if she holds that form. And it's very exciting because, you know, we bought her off Inglis Online. They're running those sales every fortnight, and those horses are getting more and more expensive every week. And yeah, she might be one of the ones we bought that she might go on and win a city race. Obviously, not all of them can do that, but I'd say at this point, for the ones we bought off online, she's probably the one that's looking most promising, I think. Probably Cracksman's looking all right as well, but the others have still got to prove themselves. But no, I was really impressed with her run today, and I give full credit to Pat with the job he's done with her. I think I've said before that the first day he got on her, he didn't know if he'd live or not.
I think a good example of getting a horse that you hope you can improve, and you know, she wasn't exposed as Cracksman or as exposed as, say, Naval Warfare. So it's just nice that you can add that ability that, you know, your hope's there. Certainly heading in the right direction. You would only think there's more, you know, progression to come as well. Righto, Sunday we never sort of measured up to what we'd hoped, but probably a genuine excuse with an Irishman who appeared to choke down in his first up run over 1,200 metres. He finished last. He's only probably 5 lengths off the winner, but Jai reported that, he took a big gulp of air after the line, which is an indication that he's probably got his tongue back and can't breathe. He can't run, Darren, apparently. Haven't been running for a while, so I don't know.
Look, yeah, he's a frustrating horse because he's a hard charging, hard going horse, and trying to get him to settle and ride him back quiet, and he's not going to win races leading and stopping. And he was first up there, and yeah, he just overdone it, and then he just probably choked down and was never in it. Anyway, we've got to give him a few more goes, I suppose, to try and get the message through to him. Probably like some of the owners, I'm starting to run out of patience with these horses, especially when you're paying the top rate. But anyway, we'll give the boys a couple more runs with him and see if we can get him going. And then I guess if we can't, we'll make a decision on his future.
The tease is knowing what he has done in a couple of runs in town. And that's, you always draw back to that, but you're right. We've got to start seeing it consistently now. Otherwise, it's pretty hard to vindicate him being at Mars. We mentioned Black Mirror today at Echuca. Oh, actually, I'll go back. We had Melburnian run at the Curragh. The race wasn't part of I don't think it was part of the TAB, but was it too early in the morning to see it anyway? When I found some vision, there was no sound, but we could see that he was beaten, or she was beaten a fair way, finished at about 8th.
Yeah, never really got into the race. He thought he had it right. He was hoping for rain. I don't think enough rain came, but
No.
he ran her anyway, and she was well beaten. But she's been headed for the mare sale later in the year, so we'll be moving her on. There may be a race or two left for her before that, but yeah, I think it's time to move her on. It's cost a lot of money to keep her in work, and she really hasn't. I mean, she ran a good race last start, but this start, no good. But it's strange over there. Like, there's just not enough rain yet here. It's the opposite. So, and of course, as soon as it gets wet over there, they all go to hurdles and the flat stops. So probably not a lot of point having a wet tracker in Ireland, which kind of sounds dumb, doesn't it? But it seems to be the way the climate is.
We just naturally think wet all the time over there, or at least soft tracks. But yeah, you're right. We've had no luck with that kind of condition with her. So anyway, back to Echuca, back to today. We also had Serious Deal first up for Saab. Now, it might strange sound that he just beat one home, but his run wasn't too bad. He's only beaten a bit over 5, settled back. I thought he settled well in the run. I think Dean Holland mentioned that he sort of spun his wheels when he went to let him go. When he followed up, he tried to sort of go between them rather than around them, and just didn't let down like you'd hope. And I think we've been through this before with him. Sort of gets through a track that's heavy, but not those chopped up sort of tracks. And first up, he was always going to improve off today as well.
Yeah, well, the horse was obviously with Matt Kamani, and he was leading, and he was in his leading role. He was limited to benchmark 58 grade. The owners voted to, try him again with a different trainer, and voted for him to go to Sabasan, who's probably spent the last 3 months trying to get the horse to settle, because he said, if I just do what Matt Kamani's doing, I'll just get the same results. So I need to try something different. So he spent a lot of work trying to get him to settle, and you could see that today. He did settle. I wouldn't say he settled perfectly, but he probably settled 8 out of 10. You could just see a few stages he sort of stretched his neck and got a bit keen in the run. And as it turned out, the track was very rough and very shifty, and it's always an excuse when you get beat that the track's no good. But I thought myself he was travelling to the corner like he was going to be in the finish, and then when he he either elected to go to the middle, sort of come in amongst horses and then go for the horse, and then we're in trouble. I think he might have popped a little check there and sort of got unbalanced, and his feet started to go everywhere, and then he just whacked away, because I thought on the corner he was going to run right into it. And I would have preferred him to have been 7 wide and got a better look at him out on that better going than kind of coming back in and then copping a bit of a bump. But he certainly looked good in the yard. He's certainly underdone. He did blow up across the back post race, which tells us he needed the run. His better form's going to be over further. So I think we just say today was a good run to get out of the way. And Dean Holland was pretty keen to stay on him. Said he wanted to ride him again. He said, let's go to 1400 again. You'll see a much better run. And then third up, he'll be ready to win over a bit further. So the fact that he pulls up aside later on and said that, I thought was very encouraging.
Yeah. Basically a trial, Darren, trying a few different things. And, you know, as Saab said later in his post-race, that he basically ticked the box he wanted to today. And that's basically in that settling. So that was a serious deal. Madam Mischief, look, she's not a benchmark 64 horse second up. It was a tough little race. She was under pressure a fair way out from home. She battled on okay, but again, that shifty surface is probably not her. She doesn't mind it when it's a genuine soft track or heavy track. But that in between those drying tracks, like you're talking about 7 races prior to hers, and it's pretty well carved up. You know, look, she was okay to the line, but she needs to get back to a 58 grade. She's probably got the runs under her belt now, fitness-wise. And I think that's her go, probably over 1400 or 13 or 1400 next start.
Yeah, well, she's had 2 runs in now. So, you know, it's a 64 getting well beaten there. 58 grade is not really worth, you know, I'm not sure the owners want to have a horse that's just going to run around 58 grade for very long.
No.
So I think, you know, we'd want to be seeing her winning in the next 2 runs and actually starting to show that she's going to win more than one more race for everyone to continue on with her. But, you know, I'll reserve judgment on it today because of the roughness of the track, the fact we're in the last, the fact she was second up. She was a lot further back than I thought she would have been in the run, but I don't know. At Chuka, they seem to go really hard to the first bend and then they sit up and then they get around those bends and then they take off again. It's very hard for a horse that's kind of back to just get into it. You know, it just seems very awkward there at Echuca, but it's a beautiful track by the same token, but just the way they charge along for that to that first bend and then sort of prop and then take off. And if you haven't got that turn of foot, you're out of the game. So, and you could see her when that took off, she was pumping and trying to get it going and she just didn't have it. So whether she's best in front or best on speed, I'm not really sure, but I think one thing's for sure, we'd want to see something in the next couple of runs to warrant going on, and probably in all fairness to her, she's probably in her last prep with us anyway, so I'm sure the owners would be looking at the end of this prep to move her on.
The other thing against her too, last prep she was still a 3-year-old, now she's 4. You just go up to that next level age group and, you know, you can be exposed. I think too, she's a better horse when she is rolling a bit. That just seems to be her go. She's got a nice cruising speed, and it was strange to see her sort of battling to be anywhere near the lead today. But, you know, you're right with Echuca. You do see a lot of horses there vying for the lead, and then you end up with 3 wide lanes. You know, you get, and it becomes real messy. So, anyway, so there are our runners that we've had. We had a third with Black Mirror. It was obviously the run of all our runners. And
just to put that into context, Peter, Pat Ryan was there on course today, yeah?
Yep. That's a long trip.
So he wouldn't be home yet.
No, he wouldn't be.
We're sitting here on Thursday night at, you know, 7:45 p.m.
Yep.
He was in the last race. That was at 4:30.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have been in the truck till after 5.
after 5, and it's got to be a good. Would it be? I don't know. Would it be? It'd have to be 3.5 hours.
Well, I reckon from Ballarat to Echuca.
I'm 2.5.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's probably further. I'm 2.5 hours. It's probably even like you get home till 9 o'clock.
I can get to the Bendigo racetrack in about an hour and 3/4, and then it's another hour to Echuca. So he's only basically halfway home at Ballarat type area. I don't know which way he goes.
He might be knocking on your door.
Yeah. We won't get a feed here.
Got to stop at the Royal Meredith and get some Asian takeaway down there at the Royal Meredith.
Yeah, that was their go tonight. Takeaway, Chinese, Asian, whatever you wanted. So
I must have missed that email.
I seen it on social media. But he said it was there. You better hurry because we have run out. Thursday night's gone by. Rightos. We can talk about our upcoming
There you
race.
go, Pete.
What's that?
Pete, I just put it in the phone. Echuca to Warrnambool, 4 hours, 26 minutes.
He's probably got
He won't be home. He won't be home by 9 o'clock.
to be having a late tea, Darren.
That's a big day.
It is a big day. And I reckon if you're going to Echuca and you're from Warrnambool, you'd want to take at least 2 horses to make it worthwhile. So I think he'd be coming home with a smile on his face. I think he was pretty happy with Black Mirror. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's all right. All right. So righto. So next week this Saturday actually, we're really looking forward to Saturday. I think, Peter.
Who would have thought that we'd have Mr. Moneybags in a listed Heatherly Stakes as a sprightly 7-year-old, and probably he's not about the 4th line of betting at $10. And look, and we both said the same. It's an even field. There's a lot of first uppers, stayers resuming, horses out of form. There's 2 or 3 that are, go okay. But I think we said if Elephant was in the race, who beat Mr. Moneybags last start, he'd be about $2.50. And we were a closing third that day. So from a nice gate with Declan Bates on, he might run a cheeky race, the old bloke. Betting's suggesting that anyway.
It's a fascinating race. It's a 1,700 listed race. Now, there's a number of horses in here that probably just can't win, Pete.
Yep.
Bound Declare's first up, $31. Mirage Dancer first up, $51. Delphi, the Friedman horse, $14. It's on a Cups program. They said it'll need the run. Miami Bound, Rostotovich. Trally Rose of Wilds, question mark.
Yep.
No Effort. English King of Moroni's, $19. Constantinople, 100 to 1. Tory Joy, $31. Artie Lucas, $101. So you take out, so there's what there? There's 19 horses entered. I don't know how many they run, but I wouldn't think they'd run 19, would they?
We're 16 running, 16 for emergencies.
Right, so 16 running.
3 emergencies.
So I would say there's 8 horses there that have got absolutely no possible hope. 1 or 2 of them will probably flash home and run a big race. Traffic lights on me, get on me over 2,000, 2,400. I'm back in good form. But of the favourites, like Angel of Truth's $5, hard to beat. Then you go down to Ziegfeld, $7, Godolphin's horse. Trailer Rose, I said $10. Bartholomew Dias at $7. God, he's had more runs than beers on a Saturday night. Mr. Moneybags, Scottish Dancer, mate. I don't know. I'm saying there's 6 chances in this race, unless one of these old stayers just pulls out a blinder.
Well, would we be the fittest horse in the race? Nearly would have to be. Race fitness.
Well, if he reproduces his last run, he's going to run top 4.
Lindsay Smith said that he would peak this run, and it was just a shame that we never had a benchmark 90 or, a horse around his rating. And he said, we're going to have to go to this race, which peels nicely into a race here at Ballarat in 3 weeks' time. So from the point of view of a horse peaking, Lindsay said he couldn't have him any better.
Well, there's a lot of horses in here with a lot more ability than we have, but we're fit. we're ready to rock and roll. We've put in almost a career best run last start, and there's a lot of horses in there resuming that can't win. And if you're ever going to win a listed race with this horse, if you're ever going to place in a listed race with this horse, it's going to be Saturday.
Yeah, you do see a lot of horses win these early. I mean, this is not a group race, but these early sort of feature races, based on the fact that they've come through and they're hard fit, opposed to the ones that are getting ready for races 6 or 8 weeks down the track. So, look, if he can just sit where he did last time in the running, there won't be no horse stronger than him. Like you said, you got those ones that are classy that'll run on because that's them. They're a good horse and they'll run on regardless. But, geez, there's, like you said, there's a few witches' hats in the race.
I think that's the problem, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be my biggest concern is traffic. Like,
Yeah.
if you get stuck in behind one of these old stayers and you can't get out and get rolling when you want to, yeah, it's going to be horrible. They will be literally witches' hats stuck in the road. So I think you'll need a smart ride to steer clear of some of these and get on the back of one of the favourites to give you every opportunity to get into it.
Yeah, I don't know what speeds in
I
the
won't
race.
be taking that. By the way, I won't be taking the $10.
No, I don't think so.
That's unders.
When I flicked it up, I was thinking sort of that $25 to $30 mark, but I think I texted you straight away. I was looking for the extra naught where the 10 was. But anyway, look, it's great for the owners. We might try and get a Zoom up and see if you will get interested with the Zoom viewing on Saturday.
Well,
be a lot of roaring around a couple of straights.
We did run in the All-Star Mile one year, and we did run pretty well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yep. Anyway, so that's Moneybags. That's later in the day. It's about race 7. Same day. Now, I spoke to Paul Prushka earlier this evening, and Eagles and Pins is down to have her debut run at Warrnambool, but unfortunately, she's drawn gate 16, which equates to gate 11, I think. There's only 11 runs, so she's the outside gate of a field of 11. Now, Paul's just going to do the form, work out how many witches' hats are in this race. He's just going to see if she can fit into the traffic somewhere. Like, he doesn't want to go back and just, you know, we've seen it with Piranha there at Warrnambool. You can just, it doesn't shape well if you're a get-back horse around Warrnambool. But if you can fit into the field somewhere, he's keen to run her. He's keen to kick her off. And also knowing that the run will bring her on quicker for when she gets out to 14 and 1600 and beyond, which looks to be her go. But he's really happy with the way this filly's come on the last month. So we'll be just interested to see what he does the next 24 hours regards running. Yeah,
well, all along he's thought she was a staying type. Well, she looks a staying type, and I know it's 1200 first up, and it's probably way too short for her. So, but you know, that's the way we do it in Australia. We kick them off over short distances and build them up. So I suppose that's what we're going to have to do here. She's probably going to be no hope in her first 2 or 3 runs, and then when she's ready to win, you've got to try and get a run. That's the problem. So
yeah,
we'll just have to see because. Yeah, I'm surprised she's going around in the 1200 from any gate really. But you know, if there's not enough trials and there's not enough jump outs, we got no choice. She's been in work a long time, and we've got to get her the races.
The option if we don't run is a 1400 at Casterton the week after, which you know probably would be a little easier and probably a bit more suitable for that trick wise if your fitness is there. So anyway, Tatum Bull will ride on Saturday if we run. I've told the owners that we'll have a something out from Paul tomorrow. I don't think the weather's going to play any part. I think the weather's okay over the up until Saturday. Is that correct?
Saturday's really good.
Yeah.
Saturday's really good.
Yep. Sunday, the Ballarat, the Grand National Steeplechase Day. Or, we got a runner down, not in the main race, but we got a runner in the maiden called Periscope.
Making his hurdle debut.
It's a little bit of change of plans. Pat had to sort of go to the open rating maiden opposed to the 0 to 58 flat rating one, mainly because the horse that beat Cracksman's debuting in that race. So it's the brothers, Simon and Pat, have got together and said, which maiden hurdle you go and do? And they've split them, which makes sense if you both think you're a winning chance.
So it's race 1.
Yep.
$18 it is.
Righto, there you go.
Aaron
There's
Lynch.
3 or 4 horses. Yeah, Payton would have rode, except that he had a commitment to the Mar horse. It was just depending which race.
Mars horse, which is $2.70.
Yeah, so there you go.
And it's a raise the flag as well.
There might be the go, Darren. The raise the flag, Quinella.
And Simon Rolls horse is in race 2, and it's $2.30 favourite. Well,
That's why
I reckon Simon Wild should have been in race 1 against Mars favourite.
And us
And
have
he
the
should have
other
been
race.
in race 2.
Yeah,
I think
obviously.
Pat should have pulled rank there.
I don't think he. Anyway, look, we get to see him over the jumps. He's a safe jumper. Pateman rated him when he rode him in the trial, and would have rode him apart from his long-going commitment to Mars and Mar and Useless, Mar and Eustace.
Oh, that'll get back.
So anyway, we're going to look early on Sunday. It'll be around midday, that race, is it? Bit after?
No, what time was it? Race
Only 6 races.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yeah, well, I was just saying to Liz the other day, the last time I had a horse that went over the jumps in Australia would have been in 1996. So
1996.
that's 25 years ago, Pete.
Hard old dusty tracks back then. Oh, well, it's not, doesn't seem
We're around
that.
Werribee.
Oh, righto. Yeah.
We're around Werribee. He won there. Mark Riley trained him. I can't even remember what his name was.
Are those 2,800 metre hurdles?
Yep, someone will send me a message and remind me of the name of the horse, but he was a horrible jumper. He used to drag his back legs through the fences all the time, and he used to dip his head, and the jockey used to lurch forward. And the 2,800 metre race, and I reckon I used to watch about 400 metres of it.
Was that coming back to scale?
Then I'd never, ever have another one after it. But anyway, here we go.
Here we go. Anyway, it doesn't seem that long ago that, and it's totally against the whole setup where we are with welfare now, but it used to be the Cup Day hurdle on Melbourne Cup Day. Used to be
Star Horizon is the name of the horse.
Star
Horizon.
Star
Horizon, trained by Mark Riley.
Yep. There you go.
Back in the Mukta days.
Sprinters and jumpers.
Anyway, good luck to Downers in Periscope. We've been waiting to see him get to the jumps for a long, long time. It's a little bit of a shame he's running into a smart one, but well, if he can run second or third there and just get around safely and show us that that's his future, then he's got a future. If he's hopeless and goes no good, well, that's probably off to Pony Club for Periscope. I did enjoy the footage during the week of the I don't know how old that kid is, 5 or 6, picking out his feet.
Just shows you he's got a home after racing. He's as quiet as a lamb, that horse. So I don't know how old Pat's son is, but he didn't look any more than 10. Our other runners, Darren, just quickly.
Right, so we've got a couple more.
Yeah, we'll have Write Your Name over 1,500 on Tuesday on the Ballarat Syntho. Gets his chance. I had a look at the nominations. It's only been 18 nominations. So if Write Your Name's going to win another race anytime soon, that looks a good target for him. And on Wednesday, Hasseltoft's in a 1,600 metre benchmark 70. I'm not 100% sure whether Robbie's going there, but I do remember him saying that it would be a nice little race for him, third up, and then, obviously look further into the spring after that. So, Sand.
I think he's running there. I think Craig Williams is definitely booked for the ride on Wednesday.
Yep.
So he's already engaged the rider. So I'd say he's
so,
going there. But, I don't know what his rating in that is, that horse, but I guess he's got to run him there because he's not going to get into these other big races.
No, I reckon he'll have to carry 61, Darren. I reckon he's a 72 raider.
Right.
From memory, 73 maybe. I don't think he wouldn't have lost a point at Flemington the other day. So he's got 61 and a half Oh, look, geez. Saturday class back to Wednesday, he'd be awfully hard to beat with 61.5, even with 61.5, sorry.
Yeah. Know what?
And then after that,
yeah.
later in the week, but we'll talk about them next week, we'll have Two Bay Shore, probably at Bendigo, over 13 or 1400, and then he'd be hard to beat there on a big track like Bendigo, and then Serious Suspect is the day after at the Valley, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, going to the Valley. Yeah, looking forward to seeing him. You know, just once again, we need to draw a good gate, but we'll know by next week. But be good to see him back going around the Valley, where he's done a lot of work and he's had one start there for a good run. So
yeah.
But no, I'm really looking forward to Mr. Moneybags this weekend, Peter. For different reasons, I'm looking forward to Periscope going over the jumps, and then of course Hasseltoft's probably going to be pretty short price favourite Wednesday at Sandown, I would have thought.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hasseltoft, sorry. Moneybags, it's probably about his sixth or seventh preparation. He's been a great old horse, and for a 7-year-old to be still rocking up like he is and being competitive, yeah, a ripper result to, or if he could pull off the win. But I just can't help but think that he has to run well.
Oh, no question.
Very good.
Now the other thing, Pete, is just getting off the subject a bit. We've had two foals born up in Ireland, so I'm gonna flick you through a couple of photos to put up at the end of this. So we've got a Night of Thunder colt and a Camelot filly. So
yep, we'll pop them
they've
up
hit the ground. And all good there. They were only a day old when these were taken. And then this week, where are we today? The 26th of August. So in the next, we've got, what do we got here? We've got 2, 4, 5 foals due in 6 days. So Tom and Charlie are going to be a bit busy there. Black Velveteen, Savababe, Chocolicious, Tennessee Gold, Rockalicious and Crack the Code are all due to foal very shortly. Pretty much starts off at the, probably, I reckon next week they'll start to foal.
Yep.
And then we get right into it as we try and get these 15 or 16 foals. So it's all going to happen real quick. So we'll have plenty of foal photos for you coming up. And I guess the other thing we want to talk about was, before we get on to our tipping comp that you're going to talk about, I think Monday is going to be a pretty important day for us, Peter, down at Cranbourne, because Steinem will be is scheduled to trial, and she's that exciting Frankel filly we've got set for the spring. Yeah,
and unlike plenty of the trial dates that have been cancelled due to the wet weather, I think the weekend's weather is going to mean that we're going to they'll have a big set of trials down there, and it'll be just great to see where she is. Obviously, the first trial, they won't be expecting too much, but she'll just tick over and roll along, hit the line, and yeah, she's exciting. What she did in her first prep, albeit it never come to the, it didn't bear the fruit we're hoping for in South Australia. Oh, geez, just what she did leading up to that was enough to have everyone excited. And you would just think with that little bit of maturity over the last 3 to 4, 5 months, she looks great in the vision we're seeing, but yeah, she's exciting.
So she's one of the stars that's about to wind up and get going for the spring. So we'll just have to keep you informed of how they progress. So if you get a chance to have a look at the trials on Monday at Cranbourne, keep an eye out for Steinem. Now, we are going to run a spring tipping competition, Peter. We're going to limit it to 6 weeks.
Yep, 6 Saturdays.
Weeks of tipping only. Yep, and a Tuesday maybe.
Yeah, we'll kick off.
Finish it up on Melbourne Cup Day.
Yeah, Turnbull Stakes Day. So from Turnbull Stakes Day, we'll roll through all the major Saturdays from there on, and then we'll finish up on Melbourne Cup Day. So it'll be maybe seven different tipping days, I think. It'll be 6 or 7. So I don't know of the whole system. It'll be similar to last year, but we might just throw a few curveballs in there to keep everyone in and interested right through. we tended to have we went for a long time last time, and people were dropping off when they were tiling down the bottom of the ladder, but we'll try and keep it interesting for everyone. And yeah, what'd you say, Darren? They had to be double jabbed, didn't they, to be part of the competition?
Well, we're kicking it off on October 2, so I think everyone's got time to have the 2 vaccinations by then to participate. So I don't know if we have a weekly prize. Do you get a 3rd vaccination, or what the weekly prize will be, and then we'll have an overall prize. But I think we need to do something, Pete, because I don't think we're going to be. I'll be very, very surprised if anyone gets to go to any of these race meetings through the spring. I know Caulfield are saying that, you know, if you're double vaccinated, they want you there, and VRC are saying the same thing. But given where we are and the way these, or particularly our Premier here in Victoria is talking, I'm not holding too much hope that anything's going to happen in the next 6 to 8 weeks in terms of getting out and about. So I guess we'll just have to see what New South Wales unfolds there with their double vax strategy and what pressure that puts on these other states that we live in. And, you know, I don't know, like everyone else, we're all sitting here wondering what the hell's going on, how long it's going to go on for. And it seems crazy that we might be able to fly overseas to a foreign country before we can travel interstate. So that's some of the talk around at the minute. But the spring carnival's upon us, even though we can't get there and unlikely we can get to any footy final games. We've got to make it as interesting as we can. So we'll continue on, and we'll get this tipping comp underway on the 2nd of October. You and I will have now pretty much a month to come up with some really crazy rules.
Yep.
That's make it really, really tough. And it was nice, Peter, to get an email during the week from Ireland. Was it Ireland we got it from, or England?
Yes. Yeah, don't want to call it an Englishman and Irishman. I did get put back on the day, but anyway, we did get an interesting email, and Brian, who was part of the related to. Now I'm going to get it wrong again, but he was part of the Irish setup in Heartbreak City. I'll put it that way. And he sent a nice email over and doesn't miss this show, so must be boring over in Ireland or England or wherever.
Well, it's good. It was really pleasing to hear from him and get an update on what's happening there. And I thought he had some very interesting views on what's happening worldwide, but really appreciate the email and appreciate the fact that you bothered to listen to us rattle on for every week for the last, what would that be, Pete? 5 years probably. So,
well, 2016, coming up 5 years.
Maybe he's got no maybe he's got no TV reception where he is. But anyway, it's nice to hear from you. You never know who's watching and who's listening. So all the best to you blokes over there, and hopefully one day we're sitting at a pub together somewhere in Europe, sharing a pint. That would be something to look forward to. So I think the more you're told you can't, I think the more you're told you can't do something, the more you want to do it. So I think we're all busting to get off the leash. So when we get off the leash, I think we're all going to run amok, and I don't know when that's going to be. But
speaking of leashes, Darren, it's International Day of the Dog today. And last night it was International Day of Liz's dog, who won at Ballarat.
It did. That was win number 11 for that dog.
The mighty 927. Yeah. Yes, he's
number 11.
Yep. No, been a good fun dog for Liz, and a lovely dog. He's got big black markings with a white undercarriage. You can't miss him, and he's maybe 35 or 6 kilos, which for a dog is, it's getting towards the heaviest they are. But he's a ripper dog. He's the favourite at the Lanigan Kennel, and you can see why. He's just such an honest dog, and obviously been a lot of fun for Liz. And he ain't finished.
Yes, well, I must say, no, he's only young, that dog. Yeah. So he's part of the Greyhound Racing or Sandown draft, and we helped them a little bit with the setup of that syndication, and we took a share in the package, and we got a share in 3 dogs. I think they all won. The other two have been retired, probably through injury more than and lack of ability, I guess. But this one, he's done really well. I think he's won nearly $40,000, which for a dog's not too bad. Yeah, Liz certainly got a lot of entertainment out of it, and just shows you, Pete. Liz and I coming up to being married 30 years next week, and the highlight of our night last night was laying in bed with Sky Channel on, watching the dog win.
Well, actually, just over your right shoulder, there's a photo of 927, because I know there's a couple there that, there's none of you, Darren, but there's a couple of 927 up there in the office. I reckon over that way. But yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
I know I've been challenged. I've been told I have to hang them up here somewhere, but no, she loves that dog. And the trainer's only down the road from us, apparently. He's only less than 10 Ks away. We didn't even know.
Yep.
That's where he was. We thought he was in Anarchy, but he's moved up closer.
Watch out. Be knocking on the door, selling more dogs soon.
The way things are going, Pete, will be Manningtree Park Greyhounds if Liz has a way.
We'd have to get dibs on the yellow jacket, the ATB. We just have to run from number 5 all the time to have our colours.
They don't win. 5 doesn't win.
It's the worst box, the 4 and the 5. Yeah. Anyway, no, all good.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for that. Well, let's wrap it up there until next week. Good luck to everyone this weekend with their runners. Good luck to Mr. Moneybags in the stakes race.
Yep.
It's the action really heats up now for the spring, and it's going to be great to see some of these good horses back. And there'll be a lot of good horses trialling at Cranbourne on Monday, and it's all about to unfold.
Absolutely.
So until next week, I'm Darren Dance with Peter Morgani. Have a great weekend, and finally in Victoria, we're going to get some sunshine.